up. Coming really soon, the two panelists discussion.
That's correct. And now we'd like to welcome the next speaker, who is from Hong Kong.
Kong. Yes, he's none other than Mr. Wave Chow. His topic, 100% MDRT. Now, Wave is actually an MDRT honor roll and life member. He has groomed his team to achieve a 100% MDRT miracle, including a 38.7% TOT and COT. He has received several awards, and this includes Insurance Agency Leader of the Year 2019 and Digital Agency Leader of the Year 2020. He has published 4 books: The Key to Building a 100% MDRT Team, Riding the Wave, The Soul of Selling, and Big Deal. MDRT friends, let's welcome Wave.
Wave.
Testing, testing. If you can hear my voice, please wave your hands. Thank you. It happens that my name is also Wave Chow, a 20-year MDRT honorable and life member from Hong Kong. Look at me. I look much younger than a professional with 24 years of experience, right? It's my great pleasure to share my experience with all of you on MDRT Day Singapore 2021. My topic today is 100% MDRT expert. Why with an asterisk? Doesn't it resemble the shape of the COVID-19 when we see it under a microscope? So, what I'm actually going to share with you are the methods to achieve MDRT in the COVID-19 new normal environment. I hope you can gain some insight today that will help you with your career. Right off the bat, I would like to ask you a question. If you are going to live somewhere and it is raining heavily outside, what would you do if you don't have your umbrella with you and nobody is there to help you? Simply put, you would have 2 options. First, you can wait until the rain stops to leave. Second, you can rush out of the place. Which would you choose? No matter which decision you make, you will take 2 concerns into account. Number 1, how long do you think the rain will last? Obviously, you are not going to wait forever. Number 2, do you have to leave immediately? Are you in a rush to meet with a VIP client? Or do you have something urgent to do? You will need to have a reason to rush out and get wet. So, what does rain imply? Maybe you can relate to our situation at the moment. That is the COVID-19 pandemic. It has had a huge impact on our daily lives. Nevertheless, if we look back in the history, SARS in 2003, H1N1 in 2009, Ebola virus in West Africa in 2014, Zika virus in 2016, Ebola virus found in Congo in 2018, and not to mention COVID-19 in 2019 and into 2021. We can easily find out that pandemics are emerging more and more quickly. Although it may sound very pessimistic, rain is not going to stop anytime soon. But everyone needs to accept that it has become a new normal. I believe some of you are working while worrying about how to adapt to the new normal and lacking enough confidence to keep going forward. I would like to share a piece of my past with you. Years ago, I had a very beautiful secretary. I admit I was not a well-behaved boss at that time. I was attracted to her, chased her, and finally married her. This is my pre-wedding photo taken more than 20 years ago. Don't you think I was lighter and thinner at that time? We shared an office day after day, hearing the dreams and the life goals of my team members. These ideas became fixed in her mind. One day, she told me that she had decided to pursue a career in the makeup and styling industry. I said, sure, I was always support you. It was a very tough job indeed. She frequently had to get up at 4 or 5 in the morning for brides and her other clients. Sometimes when she worked with her celebrities, she would choose expensive products for them. But she couldn't afford to use them herself. Despite all the hard work she put in, her monthly income was still quite unsatisfactory. How did she get through the tough times? During that period, her boss always motivated her and encouraged her by telling her which celebrities or other kinds of projects would be passed on to her. All she needed to do was to focus on her job duties. At the end of each day, when she came back home, she would tell me she was very happy at work. Why do I share her experience with you? There are two reasons. Firstly, many people persist only because they can foresee the bright future. Yet, more often than not, discouraging challenges arise. However, you must keep on going before actually seeing any success. Am I right? Secondly, in most cases, we procrastinate not because the task is difficult itself, but because we find it difficult to get started. As I think the expression in Chinese is more authentic, I put Chinese on the slide as well. In other words, as long as we are willing to begin the task, the rest is easy. You don't believe me? Is it easier to recruit new agents right now? Achieving MDRT COT and TOT is even easier than ever before. Everyone knows that due to COVID-19, the MDRT board reduced its membership requirements on sales performance last year and this year. As the pandemic is under better control in the US, it would be reasonable for the board not to consider continuing the discount next year. If there is only one chance to achieve MDRT COT or TOT in life, I believe this year is the best chance to succeed. Personally speaking, I'm one of the many people who want to pursue success. Let me ask you a question. Is success a cause or an effect? The answer is success is actually an effect. What makes you successful? Your persistency, your hard work, your studying, etc. I know it may sound a bit off topic. To get back on track, let me ask another question. Is insurance a cause or an effect? The answer is insurance is also an effect, just like success. So, what's the cause for the need for insurance? Bingo! It's risk. Insurance does not come from nowhere. It is designed to be a risk management tool. This is also why the demand for insurance will follow whenever the corresponding risk becomes higher. In the future, there will be risk everywhere. People will get worried and thus seek ways to handle risk in a better way. There's an English saying which I find true. Risk is no longer a risk if you know how to handle it well. How exactly can this be done? Easy. Look for insurance. Insurance is the most economic yet effective tool for managing risk. Its existence is essential to keep options open. Try to think about our jobs. Being an insurance advisor is a very meaningful experience. Many families nowadays still cannot afford medical expenses for their family members. Yet, the situation could have been reversed simply by transferring the risk of illness to an insurance company at a relatively low cost earlier. To put it differently, your clients and fans can have more options in life if they buy insurance policies. We should therefore strive to be risk and consequence management professionals rather than solely insurance experts. Therefore, we actually have a golden opportunity never seen before. What should we do then? Some of you may prefer adjusting one step at a time. Some of you may want to learn from your competitors and follow their methods. I'm here to remind you that a good decision maker should contemplate his or her ideas creatively based on the general trend and the demand of the target audience, rather than the behavior of others. Think about the trend right now. What is it? Definitely, it's the COVID-19 outbreak. What do the clients need? There is a saying that makes a lot of sense to me. Customers need to walk away from fear and reconnect with others in trust. I believe this is what clients need these days. Let's take a quick look at the survey. Sorry, I only found it online in Chinese. No worry, I will guide you through it. Since the COVID-19 pandemic, the average time spent at home increased by almost 4 hours during weekdays and 4.4 hours during weekends among the interviewees. Guess how much they had spent when they stayed at home longer than usual? According to this chart, you can see that the monthly expenses have slightly increased recently. They still spent money, but only switched from a physical to a virtual environment. Under the COVID-19, the expenses in 4 categories were increased. They were food and beverage, electronic entertainment, mental wellness, and also leisure activities. It is safe to say that most customers kept their overall spending pretty much the same. With that said, what will you do to build trust with your target customers and to reduce their fear so that they are willing to make purchase with you instead of with others? You should get vaccinated as soon as possible and let everyone around you know. Change your profile picture to the one with "I am vaccinated" frame on social media so everyone knows. Also, maintain good personal hygiene, especially in front of your clients. Furthermore, conduct more e-presentations and e-applications in order to close more deals. Of course, digital marketing is very important as well. Up to this point, I guess you would want a secret e-presentation weapon to win over your clients, right? There was a time I could close as many as 43 live cases in a month using a full coverage sales talk. Do you want to know how? Do you have the answers? Oh wait, you can't respond. But I believe all of you are eager to know. So without further ado, let's get started. When you meet your prospect online or offline, you can ask him a question. Do you know what the latest financial planning concept is? Your prospect may say, Wave, are you talking about insurance? Yes, you are right, but that idea belongs to the 80s. Are you referring to a saving plan? Great, you are really well informed about the development of the industry, but that idea belongs to the 90s. Oh, okay, I know you are referring to an investment plan. Fantastic! That's the idea which all millennials are familiar with, but that is also outdated. Regardless of the answer, it is important at this moment to tell the prospect that his understanding is already outdated. By repeatedly disagreeing with his answer, it creates in your prospect an interest in what you have to say. If the prospect is not interested, he will not listen to you even if you repeat your message. I find it effective to speak only when the prospect is interested in hearing what you have to say. The latest financial planning concept is selling eggs. Since you are interested, I will present it to you. I'm quite certain that your prospect will be baffled when they hear this. How does that work? They may ask. The story goes like this. There was once an old lady who lived in the countryside, far away from the province. She owned a chicken farm and made a living by selling eggs. Every day, regardless of rain or shine, she transported the freshly laid eggs on a push cart to sell at the province marketplace. The path to the province was long, rugged, and unsafe. Sometimes a few eggs dropped and broke along the journey, or worse still, the cart overturned and all the eggs broke. One day, while she was on her way to the province, the old lady met a young boy who offered her a deal. The young boy asked the old lady to give him 5 eggs every day before she took the rest to the marketplace to sell. If the old lady broke 1 egg along the way, he would return 1 egg to the old lady. If she broke 5 eggs, he would return 5 eggs. If she broke 10 eggs, he would give her 10 eggs. If the entire cart overturned, he would compensate her for all the eggs. If the old lady successfully reached the province without breaking any eggs, the young boy would give her 8 eggs. After telling such a story, you can ask follow-up questions. Mr. Prospect, right now, you might think this is a fantastic deal. Now, audience, if this really happened, imagine you are the old lady in the story. Would you accept the young boy's offer? Mr. Prospect, would you prefer that we begin this deal today, next year, or the year after? Mr. Prospect, if you give me 5 eggs, I will give 8 eggs to you. If you give me 10 eggs, I will give 16 eggs to you. Which options you prefer? 5 or 10? Probably the more the better, right? Mr. Prospect, life is long, just like the old lady's journey from the farm to the province marketplace. The risk is that you may face an accident someday, just like the old lady sometimes breaks her eggs on her way to the marketplace. Breaking an egg is like spraining your ankle. It's no big deal. However, it would be like a hospitalization if 5 eggs drop on the ground. 10 eggs is like suffering from a critical illness. If all the eggs are broken, it is similar to passing away. The 5 eggs the old lady gave the young boy are the insurance premium. The 8 eggs she can receive later would be similar to her pension. In a similar way, you would want the option with the greater benefit and would want to start the scheme immediately, right? After hearing this selling eggs story, you would want to be insured yourself, not to mention your prospects. Apart from this sales talk, there are many ways to increase your success ratio when meeting with a client. For the details, I will be publishing a book, Big Deals, with 6 co-authors from Singapore later this year or early next year. You can find more in-depth techniques in this book. In addition, e-presentations, e-application, and digital marketing is very important as well. As a leader, I have supervised building the UChannel room in our headquarters. My thought is, compared to giving ideas from above, why not establish a platform that can assist our team in thinking creatively and thus design programs that they enjoy themselves? On one hand, less effort has to be put in as a large team. On the other hand, it can also maximize the effectiveness of new programs. Indeed, the feedback we have received so far has been all positive. Perhaps most people are still not used to this transformation. It's very normal. We need time to adapt to a new business environment. Nevertheless, I have to tell you, if you are not feeling good about it, I will go ahead and say, congratulations! Why? Because discomfort helps you grow. When you are feeling uncomfortable, it's time to step out of your comfort zone and explore your potential. I have shared with you just now how to adapt to the needs of target customers and the changes in the market. But there's someone who would rather do the opposite and maintain the status quo. This guy is Jeff Bezos, the founder of Amazon. I'm not talking about his personality or his views. What did he do? When he first started the company, he already knew that they would fail competing with large corporations if they followed the fast-changing trends in the market, especially with the limited resources and experience they had. Then he asked himself, what will stay the same in the next 10 years? He knew customers would always expect more product options, lower prices, and faster deliveries. These three principles would remain unchanged ever after decades. That's why he invested all the resources in these three areas on the journey of building the Amazon empire. In the insurance industry, is there any rule of thumb that no matter how the environment changes, can make us a MDRT, COT, or TOT continuously? Yes, there is. I call this the 3 A's. The first A is awesome dream. There's a famous line from the movie directed by Stephen Chow. If you have a low dream, what's the differences between you and a piece of salted fish? To succeed, first, you should set a goal which is ambitious enough. Think about it. If you wish to improve 10% over last year, you can achieve it by working slightly harder. If you wish to improve 30%, not only will you have to work harder, but you also will have to pay extra attention to the details. As the saying goes, the devil is in the details. Luxury bags are much more expensive because the craftsmanship of the bags is more detailed than others. Nonetheless, if you wish to improve 50%, 100%, or even more, there's no way you can achieve it simply by working harder or by upgrading the current operating system. What succeeded in the past can actually be a hindrance to attaining your targets. You should actually force yourself to sit down and come up with some destructive strategies to drive your future development. You are what you dream. I always tell my colleagues, the first step of success is to find an awesome dream for yourself. In good times, we are excited and think about our dreams all the time. However, in bad times, many of us forget about our dreams and are satisfied with the status quo, just trying to maintain. Does that mean that we do not need any dreams in bad times? Of course not. In bad times, we need dreams more than ever because it gives us energy and direction. The second A is activity. Sometimes we may not be able to control our mood or our attitude. What we can control is how much work we do every day. All of us agree that the first step to success starts from having successful work habits. Yet, I have found that many startup entrepreneurs and those who are self-employed and not working in the insurance industry have a very unhealthy lifestyle. They do not sleep at night due to a lack of a schedule. Then they frequently wake up in the afternoon. It's also common to see males not shaving. Before the pandemic, we made 15 appointments per week, as taught by Mr. Tony Gordon. Nevertheless, during the pandemic, many of us have had to stay at home and can no longer make 15 appointments per week. Yet, this is even a more critical time to form good work habits such as waking up early, taking care of critical work, contacting clients, and planning for the future. Always stick to your plan. Real freedom is not merely freeing yourself from different kinds of controls, but also allowing you to take control over your life. When it comes to the topic of meeting with clients, I believe all of us value activity. However, time really flies quickly. When we stay at home, even though we have been busy all day long, what exactly have we done? Sometimes I'm not sure either. That's why people say activity is the king, result is the final judge. During the pandemic, I changed the structure of the activity management report of my team. I don't expect that you can see this tiny little letter on the spreadsheet. Stay calm. I will zoom it in later on. Everyone has to score 100 points each week. What does that include? Contacting clients via messages or calls, meeting with clients, sending proposals to clients, getting referrals, writing articles, or filming videos. These 5 activities have different scores. Our team members have to submit a report every week specifying the 100 points they got. I believe that if they can keep up their activity this way, even if they cannot conduct as much business now, their business will grow rapidly after the pandemic is over. Actually, your post-COVID-19 performance will not only be determined by what you do afterwards. I believe the effort that you put in during the pandemic, which is now, will play a more important role. The last A is attitude. We can only succeed with a positive attitude. Please don't forget the most attractive characteristic of our industry. That's when clients think we are working, but we are actually playing. And when clients think we are playing, but we are actually working. I still remember one time when I went wakeboarding with 2 of my friends. One of them asked me, Wave, did Peter buy insurance from you? I asked, how do you know? Peter told me about it. Why did he buy it? He asked me whether I would want a New Year gift. I replied. He was silent for a moment and then said, Wave, do you want an Easter gift? I was honestly enjoying myself at that point, but all of a sudden I was working as well. I believe you have had similar experience, right? This is the most interesting thing about our industry. So why do we have to work so hard? That's stressful. The scariest thing is that many financial advisors work too hard and forget to have fun, or they have too much fun and forget to work. During the pandemic, I shared these strategies with my team. Although due to the COVID-19 border restrictions, our sales revenue from mainland China almost dropped to 0 in 2020. I'm glad to announce that our local business actually tripled last year. Those who followed this approach even during this pandemic, achieved 100% MDRT, as our result was quite satisfactory. I'm confident to share with you that we have done. I hope you have been inspired today and can also attain our MDRT. Let me conclude today's sharing with 2 sentences. Don't wait for the storm of your life to pass, and learn to dance in the rain. Wishing all of us healthier, longer, and better lives. Thank you, and all the best.
Thank you so much, Wave. Thank you for the 100% MDRT topic. I'd like to share with you, the Wave all of you again, that what he has mentioned just now, he talks about the mindset changing all the way from how to know that success and insurance are the effect. At the same time, he shared with us very, very useful skills such as digital marketing, and do not forget the 3 A's, which is awesome dream, attitude, and also in terms of activity. So thank you, Wave, once again. Next up, we have got Ronald from Singapore. Ronald and his topic is retaining the human touch